And a good afternoon, everyone. Hope you are doing well on this Wednesday. Don't want to waste too much of your time. We got some things to get to, including some Twitter rumors about snow that we should be talking about, even though there's not much merit to that as of right now. Rain situation, because we're probably going to be missing out on another big rain opportunity, and a lot of stuff that we got to talk about here. So let me just take you to the dual box. And of course, my camera is not working. That is fantastic, marvelous, spectacular. Sarcasm fully intended. There we go. It's working. Same my USB dock that I'm using for my Surface, which I use for a lot of my work, including for 10WX in this. It was kind of faulty. I may have to get a new dock at some point. We'll have to wait and see. But anyways, let's do this. And this. Hang tight for me for 1 second, everyone. Hang tight. Try to get my high quality camera working for once in its life. Golly. I'll just hit the settle for this. There we go. Now I got you. Hang on. Forgive me. The power of technology. It's great when it works. It's a pain in the rear when it doesn't. Actually, I'm going to adjust this real quick. Sorry. I'm going to turn down our brightness just a little bit. I'll lay off the ring light here for a second. And, backlight composition. Maybe that is. Just adjusting everything so you can see me a little bit better. It's not like killing my face. Alright, so do this. Alright, and you should be able to see me now. We should be in good business. A little bit overexposure on the monitor, so I can adjust that real quick. Hang on. Brightness, we're gonna to a solid 60. Actually 55. And there we go. So now it's harsh on my face now when you're seeing this, but let's first talk about what's going on now. All right, so for that, we'll go to, where are you? There you are. There's the satellite imagery right now. And I'll actually stop this here and update you to the latest point. And guess we're getting towards sunset. That's why you're seeing this darkening shade here. I think in Maine, there are sunsets in about a few minutes from now in Caribou, Maine, for example. So yes, daylight savings time is over. Things are getting darker earlier. However, with that said, we have an area of high pressure, and I'll actually use a tool that I have here. And I should have had this brought up probably when I started, but it doesn't matter much. Can pop up for me. Come on. You can do it. Come on, little guy. There we go. I'll do this in blue. And we'll draw for me. Right. There we go. This area of high pressure that is overhead right now. That is really what's influencing our calmer weather conditions and keeping an area of low pressure down to the south. And I'll actually, what are you doing? Why are you looping when I told you not to? Quit it. There we go. So I had to go full dad on them for a second. But it's keeping this area of low pressure, and I should probably draw this a little bit better. No. Do this, and we'll actually make it a vibrant red. keeping this area of low pressure away, because this is a really strong ridge of high pressure that is overhead. However, as we progress into tomorrow, that's going to move east. And what that's going to end up doing is, once that high pressure basically is overhead and to the east, with the counterclockwise flow that's going to have, or wait, no, it's clockwise, forgive me. The clockwise flow it's going to have is going to bring some of the warmer air and that moisture up our direction. Now, will we see much in terms of the low? Probably not, but we're going to see some warmer temperatures as we head into the latter half of the work week and into the weekend, before we have to deal, well, actually not into the weekend. We do have a system coming up for Friday and into early Saturday, but at least for the latter half of the work week, we'll have some warmer temperatures to deal with. Seasonably warm temperatures, of course. Let me trash all of this, and let me just bring you back, and we're going to close the app here. If I can do that, actually, I'm not going to worry about it too much right now. We got some more stuff to potentially worry about. But first things first, let's talk about the snow rumors. Because I know Twitter, there's been some rumors about potential snow systems and whatnot. I'm going to be very honest, our chances for snow is particularly low. We don't usually see snow all that early across the state. So let me just break this down for you in terms of the timing of the upcoming system. So you have our warm temperatures after we get past this high pressure on Thursday and into Friday. It will be particularly warm, seasonably warm at that. And then here comes our cold front. And this is, 7 p.m. Saturday night? 8 p.m. or it's Friday night, I should say. I'm sorry. Friday evening, there's our cold front starting to move through. Temperatures will be warm ahead of it, and then it will move through during the evening and overnight hours, and then into Saturday morning. It will be a little bit chilly on the back end of this. It all depends on the timing of when it gets out of here. I think that sometimes a lot of these models run that line fairly late. Like this has it just getting out of here by what? And I'm looking, forgive me. Just making sure I have all the runs that I want to get done. There we go. And it should be out of here by about, I would say even before 7, 8 a.m. I think it could be done, and for most of us, before sunrise. But I'm just looking at some of the other model runs and what that's been looking at, and it's been showing similar situations. Now, I want to emphasize this. There's been a lot of talk and rumors about the snow, as I already mentioned, and I will show you, at least to a degree, why. And I know I'm watching a lot of these here, so flash warning, obviously, but I'm going to be looking at a number of models and seeing where that decision kind of comes from. But a lot of it in recent runs, more or less, have been up in the higher elevations of the Catskills and up into Vermont and New Hampshire. But, man, I don't really see a valid argument for that at this point in terms of any snowfall. Like, I just don't think that it's really valid at this point. And then this is another one that they've been talking about. This in particular for mid portions of next week. But even then, predicting stuff this far out, and considering how little snow we've gotten, A, and B, just how early this is to get snow. I mean, we're talking Thanksgiving weekend. I don't know if that's going to happen. And that could pose a and yes, that could pose a problem in terms of travel conditions. I've been looking at area forecast discussions. It's been looking like a Tuesday, Wednesday type of deal. If you have any travel plans, might want to look them over, because the way this is looking for next week, at least early on in some of these runs, is interesting. And I'm going to look at previous run, so give me a second. Flash warning, by the way. There, and this would be, what would this be? Last night, yesterday afternoon. Yeah, you can see how it's evolved in terms of, hey, we might get snow to nah, but again, it's a week out. It's a week out. I don't want you to really take that too hard or to take that as a rock solid gonna happen type of deal, because a lot can still very much change. And I'm just looping this through. Oh, by the way, behind this front, our winds are going to pick up Saturday. We could get wind gusts 25, 30 miles per hour in some spots because of the pressure gradients that are going to be there. So do not be surprised in that regard. And I believe to some degree why we may have those pressure gradient winds is because of this coastal low that's going to be missing us. And combine that with that cold front, that kind of creates that pressure gradient that you're going to see some gusty winds with. And you can see how tight those gradients are if I zoom in for you. And you can see there's 994 millibars. And then we got 981, 82, 81 right here in dead center. That's a low. 986. So we're talking a 12 millibar difference here in such a small area. This would be what? 130 kilometers, 70 miles. That's a fairly small gradient here. And that would be, of course, 2. So we'd be talking 4. So 990. Okay. No, 990. That would be 8. So it'd be 992, 990, 988, 986. Okay. So we're talking that much. And then you can see the gradients here along the Atlantic Ocean. We're talking, if these are, assuming these are kind of the same 2 to 3 millibar changes, we're talking several millibar changes within a 240 mile radius, which is fairly significant. So in terms of pressure gradient, in terms of what you're looking for in wind gust, that would be at least enough, sufficient, and especially up here in the Northeast, New England region, that could be enough to cause problems with pressure gradient winds as well. Now, sustained winds, not gonna be the strongest, but those wind gusts occasionally, 25, 30. Now the question, I've been looking at some of the area forecast discussion by the National Weather Service in Sterling. Actually, I don't know if I want to show you that because of legalities and all that. And give me a second here. I'm going to take you to... actually, I'm going to keep this here, and I'm just going to read this for myself as well. Again, it is legal property, but it's also to the public, so I don't want to take advantage too much of it. But Mount Holly... What has Mount Holly been saying? Wednesday. Winds expect an increase in gusts up to 30 miles per hour. Same thing for Mount Holly. Sterling already mentioned it. I wonder if Pittsburgh mentioned it in any way, shape, or form as well. I've been looking at some of the forecast discussions as of recent. Saturday through Wednesday. Well, the winds could be a little lesser up in those areas out in southwest PA and maybe out in our higher elevations here in western Maryland, but even then still we could get some gusty winds in a good chunk of the state, at least east of 81 or US 15. Confidence is increasing in the deep valley to Michigan, Ontario system. Potential to be much weather. MBM, PQPF. I'm looking at this. Rain with precip type. That's Pittsburgh's statement on the upcoming system that I showed you earlier. Sterling, looking at them. Precipitation chances turn Monday night into Tuesday. Potent upper level trough. Low approaches the area. I'll talk about the trough here in a second as well. Guidance is in really good agreement. Area of low pressure moving up the Ohio River Valley. Plenty of moisture. Rainfall. Yeah. I wonder what the drought conditions are going to be like when we see the drought monitor this upcoming week. I'm just looking at some of this real quick just to clarify things as well with you. But really all you need to know is that, yes, we do have a potential this weekend, or at least late this week into the early portions of the weekend for some rain. But I'll show you here. If I can get my button bearings straight on this, I'm sorry. Where is my light here for the keyboard? Is this it? There we go. I have a light up keyboard with my Surface. I try to get that just to know where I'm pressing the keys on here, so forgive me for that. But you can see here, heading into Monday and Tuesday, at least according to the Euro, a big trough. You can see where the blues and purples, that is a very strong trough, low pressure area that's going to be basically moving from the Mississippi River Valley into the Ohio River Valley and up our way. That could bring a lot of moisture and could bring some beneficial rainfall. Okay? So, and I'll show you again with the GFS. And I'll scroll up just to make sure you see this here again. And I'm going to zoom out. There we go. This is this upcoming Saturday. But watch as we head into Thanksgiving week and heading towards weekend plans. This is Tuesday, and right now some guidance has been saying Monday into Tuesday. This takes it Tuesday into Wednesday, at least as far as the GFS is concerned, where we could see a lot of wet weather. I mean, this is Tuesday night into Wednesday, according to the GFS right now. And again, the timing may change to what the Weather Service agrees with. But my goodness, that's a deep area of moisture. And we could get some serious rainfall if this does come to fruition. But again, it is a ways out. I don't want to say for sure. But guidance has been pointing towards that as well. I'm going to look at the Euro here. And this is a different website I'm using here, Pivotal Weather, so forgive me. But it's showing a similar situation with a lot of moisture, an abundance of moisture. It could bring some rain, and this would be beneficial to what the drought situation, especially out in West Central Maryland, heading out towards the US 15 corridor, Frederick County, Carroll, Howard, Montgomery counties, Washington County. This could be beneficial to a degree for that. So do keep that in mind as we head into Thanksgiving week, okay? I'm just making sure I don't have anything as far as important stuff on my phone here that's updating, so forgive me on that. It's been a little bit of a busy week. But anyways, with that said, do put this in the back of your mind. We may have to talk about this during the weekend update because, man, if this comes to fruition, this could be beneficial in terms of rainfall, but it's going to be a royal pain in the rear when it comes to travel conditions. A royal pain in the rear if we do get something like this ending up happening. Because if you're trying to make last-second travel plans heading into Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and this bad boy becomes a player in terms of the weather, that could not be any worse timing. So let's hope this, in terms of travel conditions, hoping this doesn't come to fruition, but in terms of rainfall, we very much need it. And there could be snow as well on the northern end, but GFS really has it like far away from us in terms of any substantial snowfall and maybe snow on the back end, but that would be asking for a lot. But a lot of snow because of the colder air would be up in Ontario. Looking at how this relates to our, let's say, temperatures for the weekend. All right, I showed at least to some degree this for last week when it came to the temperatures. The geopotential height and anomaly based on the average climatology 81 to 2010. So this is the temperature advection, basically. And we're looking at how does it relate to our averages. Will it be around average, below average, above average? And right now for the weekend, it's looking like somewhat below, but not all that much. We may be able to sneak just to about average in terms of our temperatures, but it would be fairly challenging to say. And then this trough is just going to put us in a cool down at least for a good while after that, potentially. So there's our trough. Could put us in the cool down at least for some time, and then around average could get another system. But again, that's a ways out. But again, this could be a player for the Thanksgiving travel. So have that to worry about. Should be good for Ravens Bengals, by the way. I didn't do a forecast. I'm not planning to do a forecast for that in terms of graphics, because by the time I do the recording, the game would have already likely ended to some degree. So there's that. What else did I want to look at? Rainfall situation. I want to look at bulletins here as well. Climatology, BWI. As of yesterday, we are 7+ inches in the hole for the year in terms of our precipitation again. I mean, we're at 7.13, and I don't know why I didn't bring you full. I'm sorry I didn't do that, but I'm bringing you full with this one. 7.13 below where we should be. For the month, we're almost 1.3 inches below where we should be. It's not been good at BWI, to say the least, but it's been worse in a lot of other areas. Hagerstown. Well, that's downtown. I'm sorry. There's Hagerstown. 10+ inches below where we should be. My goodness. Naval Academy, I think we're running over a foot. We might be close to 14 inches. 13.5 for the year. We have been lacking for the fall season. It's not been good. Drought monitor. I think it's the same as I showed you last week. The new update hasn't come out yet. It will come out later this week, or actually tomorrow for that matter. And I'm not going to be surprised if it's worse. So, yeah, we need rain, and we desperately need it, because we've been able to get away a good chunk of the summer and also a good chunk of the fall thus far without this worsening, but it's going to worsen. And the way it's looking right now, if we don't get any more rainfall soon, that orange is going to start to grow in real estate. I wouldn't be surprised if the moderate's starting to reach the metro again by the time we see this update and when I put it in to be on the forecast. So keep that in mind. Severe drought, that deep orange in the southern tip of Washington and Frederick counties. Wouldn't be surprised if that does intensify as well. So increasing in real estate, but you get the point. We do desperately need the rain. It cannot come soon enough. We are at deficits where we haven't seen in a long time. This could, and we're on track right now if things do not change drastically soon, where we could be threatening to have the least wettest season here in the city in about 10 years plus, close to 15. I mean, I can look at records here if I wanted to again, but it would be a pretty long time in that regard. We just haven't gotten this much rain. This is 5 years. 5 years after the wettest single season in Baltimore history. Well, not the single season, single year, single annual total in terms of rainfall in Baltimore history. We picked up over 70 inches of rain. Right now, I don't even think we're at 35. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think we're at 35. Yeah, we're at 32.52. We should be at about 40 inches. We haven't even cracked 35 inches for the year, which is crazy to think about. and the lack of rainfall that we've been seeing. May was abysmal, and October wasn't all that fruitful. We picked up 1/3 of what we should have, and right now the trend is staying the same as we head into mid-November now. So there is that. Is there anything else I really wanted to talk about besides that? I do not think so. Just be mindful of what's coming up with all the storms and activity that we could see. Not storms, rainfall that we could see during Friday night and maybe into Saturday morning, and then Thanksgiving travel could be a pain. I will likely not do weather discussion nor forecast next week, as it is Thanksgiving, giving myself a little time off. School's been a little chaotic, but with that said, if we don't talk again before Thanksgiving, I hope you have a great Thanksgiving. Be safe. Be thankful for the ones that you have in your life. You really should be doing that every day, but in this day, kind of more than ever, if nothing else, just be thankful for the family and the friends and the people that you love, that you have by your side. With that said, I'm Jay Mitchell from 4NOWX. I'm wishing you a very pleasant Wednesday afternoon, and hopefully we'll talk again on the discussion on maybe the 29th. I may have some things going on the 29th. We'll see if it's the 29th or maybe, who knows, the 6th of December. We'll see what happens with that. But until we talk again for live weather discussion, maybe in 2 weeks, be safe, be well, be good to each other, and have a good Thanksgiving.